If you're not caught up on what's going on, it's the beginning of the second week. And it's kind of complicated, right? Because the trial's about several different things. It's not really about, his sort of abuse of Cassie, although that plays a part in it, but it's more complicated, right? Because the prosecution is looking at things like racketeering. They paint a picture of what sort of tone the prosecution is striking week 2 as testimony from Cassie and Don Richard is essential to the criminal case against Diddy.
This is not a domestic violence case. This is not an assault case. It's a federal racketeering case. And racketeering is essentially a conspiracy among a group of people to commit serious crimes. So he's not only accused of all of the assaults on Cassie, which I think we have a lot of witnesses and a lot of evidence about so far, but that there were other people who conspired with him, whether it was assistants, whether it was executives, people who worked for him. That is something that Dawn Richard was asked about. I was very proud to watch her testify. I was in the courtroom today. But I think Cassie also testified to some extent about other people being aware and not doing anything to help her.
On cross-examination, the defense pointed out that she never saw him use a gun.
She never saw him pay for the drugs.
Right. And so it seemed like they were trying to show that she couldn't complete that loop.
So the prosecution is laying out a case probably over the course of 8 weeks. That's what they've said, right? They don't have to prove their entire case with one witness. Very rarely can prosecutors do that. Instead, they are painting a picture. Dawn's testimony is like one leaf on the tree, the picture that they're painting.
All right, so they're painting a picture. It's 8 weeks long. We're only like in the second week of the actual trial. So if you're not caught up like me, we're going to do some work this week. We're going to have some interviews and get to know some people that are covering this case. And we're going to speak to some people that have been in the courtroom. So stick around for all of that. But yeah, the other aspect of the trial we got from the end of day 1 from the second week yesterday is that Cassie's ex-friend Carrie Morgan testified and said that they saw a sober Diddy assault Cassie. I mean, this case has just been sad. Cassie's like 9 months pregnant, of course, with, her husband, or, she moved on and he's at the trial. And it's just, I can't imagine the sort of emotions that go into this. There are people that think he might walk. And again, I have no idea because I don't really know the legal sort of bar that the prosecutors have to meet. Did they bite off more than they can chew? I'm not really sure, but we'll continue to cover this and see that story that they paint. I'll tell you, at the very least, he sounds like a bad guy. At the very least, I think we can agree there.